Do you feel now that everybody just nitpicks? They just find like, okay, Amanda got on red today. Why she wearing red?
What you think?
I mean,
don't it sound like that?
Is that how you feel?
Absolutely. They are always looking for something. Even these hack writers who were probably paid by APAC, they wrote articles based on tweets. They wrote articles based on not only my tweets, but on other people's tweets. Like, this random person said Amanda needs to change her energy. Black Enterprise wrote an entire article that said Amanda Seales complains that she's not invited into black spaces. Mind you, these are all spaces that I have worked in. And the follow-up line was, but the internet, so they anthropomorphized the entire internet. The internet says Amanda needs to change her energy. I do not need to change my energy. I don't. And all of those spaces, aside from Black Girls Rock, have contacted me. I don't need to change my energy. What needs to change is how we look at energy and how we understand energies that aren't necessarily our own.
Right.
So even as we sat here and we have talked, I have had to understand your energy. And you have asked me to do that. Mm-hmm. And even though it may not be my own, we live in this space together. We live on this earth together. So we have to gain certain abilities to do that. And that requires a lesser ego. That requires curiosity, which I consider to be indicative of love. It requires humanity. Like, we live in a world that is continuously creating borders to keep people out because we feel like they don't deserve to be here because they're different or because they love a different kind of person or they believe in something different, etc. And I am not that kind of person. I've never been that kind of person. And it is so liberating for me to understand that the reasons that people have been telling me. So you're talking about the nitpicking. It's not just nitpicking. They assign something to what they're nitpicking. Mm-hmm. Amanda has a tone because she's mean. Amanda said this because she thinks she's better than other black people. Amanda said what she said because she's nasty. None of these things are true. Mm-hmm. But it feels terrible for people to assign things to you that are not true. And you start to think to yourself, if this is what it's like for me to be myself, then maybe I shouldn't be here. And as somebody who has had a full-on nervous breakdown and been suicidal, it is not to be taken lightly when people attack character without legitimate reasons why, credibility, etc. And I was told that one of these publications, it was told to them, this is the type of thing that can drive someone to take their own life. And they said, don't go there. This is not a game. This whole last month has been such a journey of self by fire, right? Like, I was forced to have this journey of self by fire simply because I wanted to be embraced in spaces that I embrace. Like, there's no scandal. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to go to Howard to do an event, and I was told that Howard rescinded my invitation because of these stories. These stories that have no validity to them and that I have not, been a catalyst to, but they are now, they're proving to be deleterious to, like, my advancement. Oh, Amanda Seales, she was attacking Samaria Rice. What? I asked a valid question that ended up being proven, by the way. I asked a valid question. Don't we think that there's something worth questioning and why this woman whose son was 100% unjustly killed by the police? Don't we think there's something to be said for, like, why are all these media outlets, like, giving her a platform to accuse all of these people that are the leaders of movements for fraud? And, my problem is also that I think that people understand what I'm saying when I say something. And, like, when I wrote my first book, my uncle, who's a judge in Grenada, he was like, make sure you edit that book like a deposition. Because it's on paper and people cannot read your mind. So say it how you want it to be understood.
Yep.
Which is difficult in 140 characters.
It is.
But what I was saying with that statement was, why are all of these black media outlets giving a platform without any level of journalism behind it? That is dangerous.
Right.
And they're putting these people, mind you, I don't even f Sean King, but again, what am I about? Justice.
Right.
This is Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. This is unjustified. He was asked by her brother to raise money. When he got the money and found out that she didn't know, she was given the money. These types of turning this space into a gossip space is dangerous, Shannon. We're trying to make movements and change.
But you do realize that's how social media works. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
have,
I know- no,
I
you're
don't
not
have
wrong.
to be
You're not
qualified.
wrong.
I could be a doctor. I could be a
but I'm not talking about I'm not talking about social media. This is Black Voices
Oh, yeah.
and TheGrio and The Root, etc.
Right.
They were just running with this story because that's how journalism works now. It's just clicks. So in their minds, it seems like, well, if we put this story out, we're going to get the clicks. And then there are going to be follow-ups and we'll get clicks for that.
Right.
And then there's going to be follow-ups. So let's not tell the whole story now.
Right.
Let's string this along
Right.
like a f***ing soap opera.
Yeah.
It's people's lives. So I was justified in that. People mad at me because I said, you know, if you got Nikes and Jordans, if you got money for Nikes and Jordans, you got a passport, you're losing. Amanda Seales is a member of the petty bourgeoisie. She is making fun of the disenfranchised passport black folks. What are you f***ing talking about? Do you understand these people don't want us here? They don't want us here. We need to be able to get out of here.
Right.
When you go all over this world, white people are everywhere. Did you know that? They everywhere, having a great time. And we be thinking that we are only allowed to be here. This world is for us. We are the bottom line. We are the creators. So why would we not make sure that we have access to everything instead of limiting ourselves to consumerism? We can do both.
Yes.
We can do both. And one thing I've had to learn is just like, sometimes I just be talking.
Right.
Now, by the way, the reason I sent that text is because I was sitting in the Paris Charles de Gaulle airport and the nigga I was seeing, I had texted him and said, I got to Paris. I can't wait for you to get your passport and travel with me. And he had said, I don't need a passport. I travel in my mind.
That sounds like somebody said.
And that's what made me send that tweet. But again, no further context, but people do nitpick. And it sucks because you start to believe the lies that people tell you about yourself. And then you start to turn into the person that they are accusing you of being. They want you to be somebody who doesn't give a f. They want you to be somebody who doesn't care if you hurt people. And I will say that most people don't get the opportunity to do a blanket apology. But since I have it, I'll take it. I apologize to anybody that I have unwillingly caused any level of discomfort. That's never my goal. Never my goal. And anyone who's taking that apology and knowing that it's not for you, because it wasn't for you.
I'm reading, and I read this, and I'm like, when I was doing my about the black publications, no, that spoke out against you. I mean, because you speak so pro-black, and just because you're pro-black doesn't mean you're anti-this. That means I want my people to do really well, and I want my people to understand and be informed and understand the power that they have. It had to have hurt to have these black publications.
I had a nervous breakdown.
Talk to me.
It's just the willingness of folks to sell their souls for so little. And I feel like that's what you have to do to like put your gift of being a writer to work in such a nefarious way. I ain't met none of these people. I ain't done none of these people. I like to think that they were paid by APAC, because if you didn't get a check for this and you just did this just to do it, I'm just like, damn, that's unfortunate for you. But that's a place that I've arrived at.
Right.
Initially, it's crazy to be excoriated in the public in general by like, just people.
Yeah.
But like,
publications where they're supposed to have people that are journalists that have integrity.
these ain't blogs.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, the last time this happened was with this Myron Roll situation years ago, where I was put in a very f***ed up situation. I had to make a judgment call.
Okay.
And people have based my entire character off of this judgment call. People who have never been in this situation. But I did the best that I could with that situation. And I have been affirmed in that choice. But I think that what people fail to understand is that you be in scenarios where you got to make a judgment call.
Instantaneous. You don't have.
and you just doing the best that you got with something that doesn't have a blueprint.
Right.
And so now there's this whole narrative of Amanda Seales hates black men. That it has literally no water. If I hate black men, I want a refund. I want a refund, Shannon. You know how many brothers I have lifted up? I want a refund. I done paid probation fees because the niggas can rap and I want them to be able to live in their talent and their truth. I done talked to a damn PO to vouch, Boldy James, and you owe me money. But like, there's just something very wrong about these places feeling compelled to just speak about somebody with no facts. At least quote somebody I've worked with if you're going to say I'm difficult to work with. I mean, it's burning bridges in Hollywood. Baby, there ain't no bridges in Hollywood. This Hollywood is a shark-infested pool. The only bridge I built was to get me out of it so I would stop getting bit. So please, stop telling me about burning bridges and then they're in there talking about, oh, she's hubris. Do y'all even know what hubris means? Hubris is a mythological character from Greek mythology who was told by the gods, don't look in that pool. Don't look in that pool. And hubris said, man, I'm gonna look in the pool. He defied the gods. Mm-hmm. He looked in the pool and he saw his face. And he was so enamored by his face that he drowned in the pool. So hubris is not someone who is necessarily enamored by themselves. Hubris is the story of a person who defied God. Now you tell me in this whole interview, where have I showed you that I'm somebody who is defying God? I live by God.
Right.
I am spoken to by God. I speak the word. So don't tell me about these words. So journalists using these words so gratuitously is dangerous. It's so dangerous. And I am obsessed with words. I'm obsessed with words, Shannon. I love them so much. And I know that there's people who have lived by the word. If you are somebody of a religion, you live by the word, right. Whether it's the word of Allah or the word of the Bible. You know, if you're somebody who's a lawyer, you understand that this Constitution and the words that are not in it are what continue to keep us oppressed. Words matter. So to have all these people using these words that I love so much against me damn near killed me. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness I'm on Lexapro. Because had I not been on this antidepressant, I feel like I would have gone down a much darker hole. But I have a great psychiatrist and I have even better friends. So when you talk about people protecting you, baby, I am protected. I am so loved. And that's why it's so wild to see people saying I'm not likable. You are right. I'm not likable. I am lovable. I'm so loved. And it's like I'm in a place right now where for the first time in my life, I feel like the love for myself and the love people have for me are at the same level. And I've never experienced that before. And it took a long time for me to learn that I even had the right to love myself. You know, people say these things like, oh, don't be full of yourself. You better be full of yourself. Mm-hmm. You better be full of yourself, because then what are you full of? You don't want to be hollow. And you also don't want to be full of everybody else's validation of you, because who are they? And baby, they will run away. When shit go low and they gone, you're empty. Mm-hmm. You better be full of yourself. And I have had to learn, as somebody who had a nervous breakdown and was brought to the bottom, and realized that all of my confidence was built on other people's thoughts of me.
Other people's validation.
Everything. And I had to build myself back up. And luckily I had a therapist who taught me to do that. And I had to build myself back up. And so I tell everybody now, like, no. Please be full of yourself and love yourself. And, you know, particularly women, we're not told that we're allowed to name ourselves.
Right.
I am a genius. I'm a gifted performer. I am a gifted person. I am a creative genius. I'm generous. I am giving. I am kind. I'm funny. I'm delightful. Like, these are not things that I need to wait for somebody to say about me. I know these things about myself. Aren't we supposed to be God's children?
Yeah.
And that's not based in religion. That's just based in understanding. That's how I live. I, as a spiritual person, I believe I am a child that was made of something other. I don't know what we were made of, but I know that I feel like I was made of something supernatural. And I have a responsibility in that to live at my best. And people don't want to let you grow. People don't want to let you evolve. People don't want to let you find better ways to exist. People are talking to me about from 2005, some interaction they had with me for 30 seconds in 2005. Now you tell me, are you judging people based on a 30-second interaction?
No.
Because why? You might say we had a bad 30-second interaction.
Right.
That's it.
I'm probably gonna never see that person again, so I don't have a
The same
reaction one way
the
or
same
other.
week that people are telling in these articles, Amanda Seales is so terrible. She has boundaries, etc. The same week they talk about Anthony Mackie. Why don't let that man have his boundaries? I'm like, I can't call it. I can't call it, and I've decided to stop trying to call it. I put the phone down.
The Queen came to your defense, though.
Yes, she did, because I'm loved by the people I love, and that is the biggest honor. Queen Latifah, Dana Owens, okay?
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before two something.